This episode is brought to you by Farm Bureau Financial Services, Zach Miller Agency. If you're looking for an insurance agent with a personal touch, someone willing to have the real conversations about what's important to you, assistance with submitting claims, and offering quality coverage options, Farm Bureau Financial Services, Zach Miller Agency may be the place for you. Whether you need home, auto, farm, commercial, life, or health insurance, we're here for you. Check us out at agentzachmiller.com. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agriculture Insurance Company.
My next guest is the Director of Sales for Norfolk Extended Lodging, LLC, and Norfolk West Inn, LLC, here in Norfolk. Ryan, thanks for making time to be here today.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. I'm Zach Miller with my co-host Vance Neidig.
Thanks for coming in, Ryan.
And we are touching base with Ryne Hoffart today. We usually like to get a little background on everyone first. You know, people kind of seem to like that. They don't like when we go straight into just trying to plug whatever's going on. You're originally from Norfolk, right?
Correct. Yep. Born and raised.
Good. Has the city changed in your eyes over all the years you've been here?
Yeah. In my eyes, it has. Some for the better, some for the worse. But, I mean, overall, I love the direction it's going.
Yeah, I hear you there. You think we're going to be able to keep going that way?
I hope so. I fingers crossed.
I hear you. We'll get into more of that later, but just wanted to see how your take on that was. You went to Norfolk High, right?
Yep, Norfolk High.
How was your high school experience?
Pretty run-of-the-mill. I was... tried football, found out I was a little bit better of a mascot. So I had a lot of fun doing that. No, it was a good time. Had a really cool group of friends, and
I kind of forgot you were the mascot.
Yeah. I was all in on that, man. I was researching. I was watching videos of other schools' mascots, and scouting the mascot of the opposing team. I mean, I took it way too serious.
I definitely didn't know you did that. Like for all sports, or
yeah. I was there for basketball, wrestling, football mostly.
For how many? Yeah, I was going to say, how many years?
Oh, gosh. Making me go way back. I think I started when I was a sophomore.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Because you graduated in 07, right?
08.
08. So you were, okay. So you're 2 years younger than I am.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a lot of Norfolk High events. Is it like a full-blown Panther, or what's the outfit? Is it?
I'll have to send you guys a picture because I even took senior pictures with it. I mean, I was all in on it.
It's a full-blown suit.
It's a full-blown suit, big head.
Like everything. A stuffed animal looking thing.
Yeah, I mean,
so you were a furry before furries were cool.
I was, it was cool back then.
It wasn't the weirdo when you were doing it.
It was cool when I did it, okay?
yeah, right. That had been a lot of fun, though, because I know Panther Posse was kind of crazy.
Panther Posse got really crazy. There was we had some classmates that really took it and ran with it, and they made it really fun. I got into a little bit of trouble doing it a couple of times. I took a towel and plugged an opposing mascot's intake fan. They had one of the inflatable mascots. So the students thought it was hilarious.
I'm sure.
The vice principal didn't agree as much.
Thought there's a chance for suffocation when you do something like that.
When it started deflating and the guy inside was panicking and screaming, it was, I thought it was funny. She didn't.
What was the repercussions of that?
I think it was just a stern talking to on that one.
Oh, that's good.
The other one, I actually got suspended from being a mascot for a game.
Oh.
They always had a theme, the Panther Posse did, and it was going to be togas because I think they were playing the Trojans or something like that. And the vice principal said, no, there's no togas, no nothing like that. She goes, I don't even want to deal with it. So the mascot for the Panthers came running out in a toga at the beginning of the game, and that one got me in a little bit of trouble.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
Were you involved in any other sports or activities, or just that?
No, just I tried football. Like I said,
yeah.
I was no good at that, and decided mascot it was.
There you go. How did you decide on a college? Did you go to college?
I did not go to college. Actually.
Did not? Okay, there you go. You're right along. We went.
How did you decide on not going to college?
Started working and never, and kind of partying, but no,
yeah.
I
we're the same
decided
way.
not to go to college, and I enjoyed the jobs I was at the time. As much as a young kid can enjoy those jobs, and never really looked back.
That's good. That is good. What types of jobs did you have kind of coming out of high school? Or
oh man, how long you got?
we got quite a while.
I've done everything from car sales to truck driving to tire sales to working gas stations to working at Hy-Vee. I worked at the juvenile detention center for a while. I sold auto parts, so all over the place, and obviously hotels. I think I covered about all of them.
Yeah, a lot of sales though.
Yeah,
a lot of sales background.
Mostly sales. Car sales I did for quite a while.
Where'd you sell cars at?
Morrissey.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Back when the old one was there here in Norfolk, and then I was up in Madison for a while too.
Nice.
Selling some Fords.
How long did you do that for?
Oh, it was probably 2, 3, 4 years. Again, you're making me dig way back.
Oh, that's kind of my background too, so it's kind of always nice to
Yeah. No, I
shop on
enjoyed
that.
that.
Did
fun.
you keep coming back to sales? Because I mean, you had a bunch of sales jobs, but every time you get out of sales, did you be like, I kind of want to get back into sales?
I just really, really like talking to people. And I guess and we can get into it later. But I'm not a typical sales guy. I didn't like car sales for that constant pushing.
Yeah.
Constant,
Always begging for it. Seems like you're
always,
begging for the sale a lot of times.
Yeah,
Or?
and I'm just not that kind of salesman. Either you want it or you don't. So
We're trying to halfway white lie.
yeah,
to get,
and that wasn't me. Somebody had asked me, I was like, "Oh, is there something wrong with this car?" I'd be like,
Not at all.
You have to talk to somebody else.
Yeah, maybe.
I remember one story when I was selling cars. There we had when the Volkswagens came back out with the Beetle, and they made a convertible. And when the top would go back, there was 2 wings that would come out the side of the car and then collapse back down to close in the top. Well, this vehicle was not doing that anymore. The things would go out, but they would not close back in. And somebody asked me, why is that doing that? I said, it makes it more aerodynamic.
Jesus God. Thank God I never bought a car
I
from
can tell
you.
that I was never like that after that. And we told them, obviously, it was
It just wasn't working.
At first, it makes it more aerodynamic. I just always tell that story because that was always a fun one for me. What about you said juvenile detention center?
Yeah, worked there for a little while.
Here in town, or?
It was in Madison.
Madison.
It's right back there behind the jail.
Okay.
The
What'd you do there?
They called it line staff, guard.
Oh.
So basically walk around, check on the kids, make sure they're not fighting each other, and make sure they all eat.
Oh, that sounds
It was
decent.
yeah. And if there was a fight, there was a lot of paperwork.
So you made sure there was no fights.
Yep.
That's good. And then mostly just sales, so that's good. You're married and have kids, correct?
Yep. Married to Nicole. I got a almost 7-year-old and an 18-month-old. The 7-year-old's little boy, and then the other one, she's a problem. She's daddy's girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. So
we have a pretty big gap between our kids. What gave the gap there?
somebody changed their mind.
Okay, that works.
And you guys compromised.
And you guys
She's going to watch this, so I'm not going to say anymore.
I'm always there. Yeah, we compromised and she got her way.
Yeah, no, we had both agreed. So I like playing with her and blaming it on her. We had both agreed. We're like, all right, one and done. And then as he got older, we were like, maybe. And then one day I got home from I was working up in Sioux City at the time, and she brought it up to me. I'm like, yeah. And then literally 9 months later, we had a daughter. So
there you go. That's almost exact distance between my two kids too. That's kind of crazy. So 7 years old. I'm trying to think. That'd be what, first grade?
Yep, just started first grade.
How's that going?
He loves it. He is a brainiac. He is so smart.
Good.
And I mean,
So nothing like his father.
nothing like his father. When I say that is her son and my daughter, it is 100%.
That's
Except
good.
she's gonna be smart too. Then, right? Probably.
I hope so.
Yeah. We say
She
the
got to
same
spend
thing
less
about our
time with you.
She's kind of a little brute right now. I mean, she's got my attitude. She's got my appetite. She's got she's got a lot going against her right now.
How did having kids change your life? Like, how did that kind of impact you?
Everyone warns you about, the diapers and you're going to get puked on. Nobody explains the vulnerability. It's like, oh man, now I'm watching, a movie where the dog dies and I'm like, don't look at me, So, and the feeling of pride, being really proud of, T-ball, for example, something as simple as hitting a ball off a tee, and it's like, what, we've been working on that. I'm super proud of him.
Yeah.
So all those emotions and feelings, that really changed an outlook really. And it made me want to do better. It made me want to be around for a while.
Yeah. It makes you, I was just going to say that it makes your decision-making process is a little different, right?
It's a lot different. Yeah. I don't think I've really, what's the Luke Combs song? I haven't lost a step, but I just look before I take the steps or something like that. So there's a lot of truth in that.
Did you come up with any new phobias since having kids? Because I did.
Not really. So I had some nieces and nephews when I was younger. My only real, and I'm getting the jeebies just thinking about it, the feeling of Desitin diaper rash cream makes
Really?
me want to throw up. I cannot stand the smell, the feeling, any
Wow.
of it. So anytime there's any diaper rash, I'm like, Nicole, get your ass in here. I cannot do this. I'll change all the diapers, whatever you need me to do, but don't make me touch that
So
stuff.
the smell and the texture, huh?
Yes. Oh, God.
My wife can't do cotton balls.
Really?
The texture, the feeling makes her want to gag or vomit every time.
I could see. I mean, texture thing. I'm not going to touch
Marshmallows. It's kind of weird. But you're one of the few people that have known one specific thing besides her that's like, oh no, I can't do it.
Yeah, that's my absolute.
I gained a fear of heights after, which is going down to that decision process, that decision making process after having kids.
Really?
I used to be able to get up on a roof, clean gutters, do all that stuff. Now I can't even barely get up there.
Huh.
It's one of those risk reward things.
Sure.
Like you start
It
thinking about
makes
that
perfect
risk.
sense. I've never done well with heights in the first place. I mean, I'm not
I'm
terrified of them. But
I hate getting on a roof. I hate getting on a 10-foot roof.
10 years ago,
I know I can jump off
get
this
right
and
up
be
there.
fine,
If
but if I
it's-
fall off it, I'm going to die.
yeah, if it's fairly flat, I can do it. But I'm not hanging. I got permanent lights installed on my house, so I don't have to do.
I'll be
Christmas
doing
lights.
that
Like,
soon
I'm not,
too.
not crawling up there every year.
That's good. That's good. Let's take another quick sidebar. Let's go into your fitness journey a little bit.
Yeah.
Was the kids part of that pushed you into that?
Yeah. So I've tried and failed several times. I did when Abel was born. And then COVID happened. I kind of just, screwed off on it a little bit and ended up bigger than I'd ever been. And then Millie was born and I decided to buckle down on that. And as of today, I'm anywhere from like 110 to 115 pounds.
That's
Congratulations.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
That's awesome. I'm not near as close to dropping that much weight.
It's been a process, man. I've been at this, over a year and a half, and it doesn't sound like a long time, but when you're going to the gym every day and watching what you eat every single day, and and I like to say, you got to put the work in, all that kind of stuff, but you got to have a support system to do it too. And Nicole's good about the grocery shopping and making the meals, stuff like that. So it's definitely a process.
Making the healthy food taste good too helps.
It's really not that bad. The craziest thing is I saw a picture one day. And it was like, okay, here's a Big Mac meal from McDonald's, and here's all the food you could eat and still have less calories. And I mean, it was a huge plate of good food. I mean, it was burgers without the bun. That kind of stuff. And it's like, all right, I'm just being lazy trying to go through a drive-through
Because you got to cook it.
Yeah,
That's the other thing.
And,
You got to
cooking ahead of time helps me a lot, and I'm pretty big into smoking meat, and I really like cooking.
I had your ribs last year. I was down there for Michigan game. Must have been the Michigan game.
Oh yeah, we did.
I stopped
we
at
did
your
a
guys'
big batch of those.
me,
yeah.
Justin, and Nate stopped at your guys' tailgate.
Yeah.
Hung out for a bit.
That was a good batch.
Yeah,
I
you had some good ribs there.
those.
What was the biggest piece that helped you the most? Was it the food? Was it the workout? Was it the support system, discipline?
It really is a combination of all of it. Setting some goals. And I'm one of those guys that I like setting lots of goals so I can achieve one here and there. So I always have a lot of things I'm working
Attainable
towards.
goals?
Yeah, attainable goals. Some don't seem attainable at the time. We were in the gym the other day. It was earlier this. It was last year actually, probably December, November-ish, and everybody that we go, is in the mornings. They said, we're going to do that half marathon in Lincoln May 5th, and I was like, you guys bumped your head. There's no way I'm doing that. And they talked me into it, and we started training, and it was again those small attainable goals. It was like, all right, go a mile, go 3 miles, go 4 miles, and all of a sudden we were running 10 and 12 miles, and it was like, oh shit, I can do this. So May 5th we went down there, completed that. The day after, the soreness hadn't really set in, so I signed up for another one in October. The third day, I immediately regretted it. But, yeah. Anyway, it's a real big combination. Eat less, move more. Once you boil it all down, that's really I kind of had to simplify it in my own head. Eat less, move more. You got to burn more than you're eating. It's that simple. I did the low carb thing for a while, and there's a time and a place for that diet, and I really think that's what helped me go as fast as I did and get going. And Brian down at A-Time, he looks at me one day, he goes, "Let's get serious." He goes, "Carbs aren't the enemy." He said, let's focus in on this. And yeah, he's right. All right, so let's start adding some fruits, some vegetables, sweet potatoes, stuff like that. And having an awesome gym helps a lot too.
Yeah. What time frame of that year and a half or whatever you've been doing it, were you happy with the results? Like, what point were you like, this, I actually made the results to a point where I kind of feel good about it?
It's funny because I made a post on Facebook this morning that there was a year difference between the two pictures, and we had a similar conversation. And I don't know if I've ever been fully satisfied with it, because like you say, okay, once I lose 20 pounds, it's like, all right, I know I'm going the right direction, I'm doing the right thing. And all of a sudden you get that 20 pounds, it's like, well, now I want to lose another 20 pounds and I want to lift this much, I want to bench this much. And it's like, okay, now I did all those. And it's like, that goes back to those attainable goals, So it's like, am I ever going to be happy with this? Like, all right, I thought I'd be happy once I ran a half marathon. The day after I signed up for another one, like, no. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm super happy with my progress and, the work I've put in, and I'm proud of myself, proud of, everything. But at the same time, it's like, I still want more. I still need to keep going.
Yeah. And you did the low carb stuff for a while. Was there any diet, I don't know, you want to call them trends, that you followed and then kind of got off? Or did you just kind of make up your own meal plan?
The keto for a while. And like I said, there's definitely a time and a place for that, and it works good for a lot of people. I mean, there's some people that have reversed diabetic symptoms and stuff. So I think it works really good for a lot of people. I thought I was feeling really good while I was doing it. Then I started actually doing like a more balanced nutrition and paying attention to the macros, and then I realized how much better you can feel once you're balancing out like that. So. But yeah, there's a time and a place for it, and it definitely kickstarted me. But I truly believe that, it doesn't matter if you eat 1,200 calories a day and just sugar. Yeah, you're going to feel like hell, but you're still going to lose weight as long as you're only taking in those 1,200 calories. Right. Now, this is not fitness advice. Right. I'm not telling anybody to do that. But
it was pretty simple. We kind of went over that on one of our previous podcasts. Like, people. What was that? What was that deal? Matt Walsh put something on there.
Yeah.
And he said something about if you eat less than you burn, you'll lose weight. And then people whine about it or like try to argue it. It's completely false. That's 100% true.
You're going to lose weight.
It's like, I tried to do it and I'm still gaining weight. Well, you're not doing it then. You're completely wrong. You're full of shit.
And that window where, because, obviously I'm trying to get stronger and, lift some more weight and stuff like that. So that window of, okay, don't burn off all the muscle you're building.
You got to rebuild,
but don't gain a whole bunch of weight either. So you got to keep in that really tight window.
Our resident fitness guru says that the keto is not sustainable.
I would agree with that. Yeah. I don't know how long I could have done that. I mean, I'm a pasta guy, so it's been hard to stay away from that, especially when your kids only eat mac and cheese. But just the other day I had a Subway sandwich. It's like sometimes you gotta break down and have some bread, and there's no cheat days on keto because it kicks your body out of that ketosis, and that doesn't work for me.
Well, and a lot of people don't like doing the workout portion, which was what I was going to ask you next. Is what you kind of followed as like a
that's the funnest part for me at least. I really enjoy it down there. I don't necessarily have a real strict workout program. It's just always lift more than the last time. I got an app that kind of keeps track for me, and but yeah, it's what do you call it? Push-pull legs. That's my thing. Now my legs carried 320 pounds around for a long time, so I don't work those out as much as I need to. They're pretty built. Calves. I don't really need to do anything with those.
Yeah, Vance doesn't either.
Yeah, leg day. Like people whine about, like people skipping leg day. I could skip leg day for the next 15, 20 years. I'll still be fine.
I'll be all right. Carrying 300 pounds around, doing a 300-pound squat's not a big deal.
I'm naturally got big legs. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm noticing my knees can't do it anymore. That's something I'm going to have to get looked at. But
You know, honestly, I thought the same thing. It was like, man, you know, I'm starting to feel this age. Stretching and doing some mobility stuff really, really helped. You know, I don't want to say it makes you feel younger because there's still a lot of things that make me feel old, but it definitely helps with some of that joint pain and the lower back pain, you know, all the stuff that we complain about. Man, the stretching and mobility stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big thing when you get older.
Oh.
Vance is closer to 40 than I am, but I'm feeling it.
I'm real close.
I'm
to
feeling
40.
it.
Real close.
I didn't want to tell anybody how old you were. But
Sniffing it.
yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
A year and a half yet.
Yeah. On the fitness side at all?
No, I think we covered most of it.
Okay. You're doing a great job, so keep up the good work.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
I'll use you as my inspiration to keep going.
You do that like 5:30 in the morning group or whatever? Do you do
I
that
don't go
early
that
morning
early.
group?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm more of like a 6 a.m.
6
guy.
a.m.
You know,
guy. Okay.
Try to get out of there by 7 or 8 and
Okay.
then get straight to work. But
I know a couple people that go to like it's super early at like 5:30.
and they're there.
One
in
of them I
warm
golf with on Wednesday night league. And he goes to golf or goes at 5:30 in the morning the next morning. Like, what are you doing?
And those guys are there. You
Yeah.
know, they're there and warmed up by 5. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are crazy. You know, and I mean, there's days I got stuff going on. Well, I will get in there that early.
Yeah.
But man, by 8 o'clock, I'm like done.
I can't do the early morning stuff.
I found that worked a lot better for me because back the first time I was kind of doing all this, I was going like really late at night. But 300 milligrams of caffeine in a pre-workout, and then working out, and then trying to go to sleep. And
That's tough.
Sleep's a big part of it. Sleep's a huge part of your recovery. And
I've never had a problem with it's caffeine. I could fall asleep after caffeine. Doesn't really bother me,
Really?
which is weird, but I feel better if I go work out super early in the morning.
Yep.
I just hate getting out of bed when I'm not
Getting there's
going
the
to
hardest
work.
part, man.
Like I would way rather after I've worked a full day go work out.
Really?
Even though I
See-
don't do it, but I would rather do that.
Yeah, I am 100% morning guy. I don't want to keep going at night or and then that's again, having kids, that's a big deal too. You
Yeah.
know, then I'm leaving them. And,
They're there. It's their
but
time.
I was leaving after bedtime, so I was going 9, 10 o'clock at night, which was great because the gym was empty. But there was a reason the gym's empty at 10 o'clock at night.
Right. Let's move on a little bit. Can you explain to us how Norfolk Extended Lodging LLC got its start?
How it got its start? Our ownership group did some market research. They came to the idea that Norfolk needed a Marriott hotel, which was very true. We found out, and we can get into the Marriott, IHG, and Hilton stuff later. And it kind of just snowballed from there. It went from an idea, turned into we reached out to Marriott. And Marriott had just come out with their dual brand idea, and we thought, man, there is no true extended stay hotel here in town. Kind of ran with that, and here we are.
That's good.
Which you kind of talked to me about that dual brand stuff. We were at Mimosa Fest or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that a lot more brands are starting to move that way too.
Yeah, there's a lot of
A
them.
lot of dual brand ones going on.
Hilton's got a really cool one. It's a what do they do? A home to suites and a true, I think. So that'd be very similar to what the Fairfield Inn Town place is.
Gotcha.
Those extended stay rooms are just, out of this world. I mean, you can't ask for a better hotel room than that.
How did you don't have to get into this if you don't want to. How did the ownership group come to form, I guess?
Friends, friends of friends, family. My old man's in it. So there's been a wide array across several different hotels because it's not just the ones here in Norfolk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so the one of our owners has a Hampton Inn in York, and we actually just recently sold both of them, but we had 2 up in Sioux City. And then management, they have several all over Nebraska. So it's a wide array, and it's kind of spread out everywhere.
That's cool. For this one here in town, though, it was a lot of long hours for most of you guys to get that kind of up and going, wasn't it?
It was. You don't realize how much stuff actually goes into a hotel before it opens. Just pillowcases. There was pallets and pallets. You know how many pillows are in a hotel? It's a lot. And the heavy stuff, bars of soap. You know what a box of bars of soap weighs.
Probably pretty heavy.
And And of course, we opened in January of 23. So you know what the weather is like in January. So now we're unloading these trucks in that weather, and but it's everything from computers to chairs to furniture to everything. It was a lot of long hours, and then you got the tech side of it. You have to have people setting up your phones, your TVs. There's a lot of logistics that goes into having all that come together on one opening day.
Yeah.
It was a process.
Sounds like it. How did Norfolk West Inn become a part of the picture?
Oh, several years ago, one of the members of the ownership group reached out to Paul Eunice, who owned those, and he has a ton of stuff down by Kearney, a lot by Kearney, and reached out to him and said, "Hey, if you're ever wanting to get rid of these, we'd be interested." And just within this last year, he said, "Yeah, we're going to kind of try to centralize more towards Kearney and stuff." And again, the ball started rolling, and bam, here we are.
That's awesome. It happened. Seemed like it happened kind of quick. But you said it was a kind of a.
There was a little bit, back and forth, but I mean, it was pretty seamless. There wasn't any headaches there. I mean, not near as many headaches as opening a brand new one from that was a pile of dirt before.
Right, and obviously he was looking to sell, not like he wouldn't have got rid of them in any other way. Would he have let somebody else come in and just buy the land? You think?
No, I think I mean, those are two very successful properties,
right?
And he's done a great job with them.
Right,
So,
he just renovated some of those too.
Yeah, the Hampton's brand new.
Yeah,
I mean, from top to bottom.
That's what I thought.
It's a gorgeous hotel.
Because obviously the area needs hotels.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a pretty good balance right now of room needs versus rooms available, especially with the new one coming in downtown. That's going to be a Marriott property too. But yeah, I think the balance is good right now. If Norfolk grows the way that some people are saying that it's going to grow, then there might be some need in the future. But I'd like to see it kind of stay balanced like this for now, and just see is there enough rooms to go around?
What's
for
better
everybody?
be full than completely empty?
Yeah, sitting there half full. Now I'm a glass half full guy, but there's.
Well, I was thinking less than half full. It's way better to be more than half full as opposed to less than half full.
100%.
Did you guys meet any bumps in the road with the city on the new property?
Not a lot. There was some requirements that we had to do. There needed to be an access road there between Super 8 and us that the fire trucks had to get down, stuff like that. But no, there wasn't any major ones. Just your standard code stuff that they had to come in and say, you got to do this, and which is fine. Those codes are there for a reason.
Definitely. With that if this new event center or sports center gets passed, do you think there's going to be a need for more, or do you think we still have?
I think it's too early to tell.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big sports complex or two or three up in Sioux City that treated our hotels really well. If they can get the tournaments and keeps out of town people coming in. I know one of them up in Sioux City focused on a lot of local stuff. It was a place for local people to go. Local people don't need hotel rooms, so
right.
Too early to tell, in my opinion.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't be too far from that, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, if we got the traffic, that would be great for us, and I do think there needs to be something like that put in town.
Because you guys would be the fourth closest hotel? I was trying to think. I probably missed one in there somewhere, but on the same street.
It's going out there.
It's going out across from the hospital. Next to Midwest Bank.
So you'd be right smack between, Norfolk Lodge and then the Holiday Inn Hampton. Then you got, what do you have? Eco.
Oh, I missed a few. You're good, yeah.
Yeah.
I missed quite a few. I kind of forgot.
Hampton, then you got Eco
Roadway.
Well, I mean, their Holiday Hampton would be.
Yeah, I was just talking about the extended stay. Yeah, there's more hotels in Norfolk than I thought.
Yeah.
Now that we just sat there and thought down the road. Speaking of that side of it, do you think that we need more hotels maybe on this side of town, kind of by like the Y in that area? I know there's not a whole lot of space for it, but with the Midtown being there and then, the Y being there and things like that, the college.
I mean, that's the advantage to Norfolk. You got, it's not that far of a drive anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So any hotel that you stay at is
keep that just a little bit closer.
You think about any hotel you stay at, going to a college football game. a drive across Norfolk is a really close hotel to the stadium.
Right.
So it's I don't think the placement of the hotels is necessarily an issue. Could one do well down there? Yeah. I mean, that's great. Midtown, but what else?
Right. Yeah, that's what I always say.
So
It would support one thing.
I like it on those main highways there, and that's, you're going to get a little more traveling traffic.
Yeah.
Just passing through.
Right. Makes more sense for that kind of stuff.
Do you run into frustrations on the transportation side of it?
Not as much as
Because
you
there's
think.
not very much like the Ubers and the taxis and stuff. They're just not there. Like we don't have what they have in other places.
Uber's non-existent in
Yeah.
this town now. And I don't know, is it not allowed here? Did they do something?
No, there is. There's one or two like Uber's, Lyfts, but they're just by themselves, and
Sure.
there's not the need for them. So it is allowed here. We looked into that too because we were wondering
It's
why
just
it
the
hasn't
demand's
happened.
not there for them to
Demand's not
dedicate
there.
their whole evening to it. Sure.
And then your taxi system isn't great. It's there, but it's not great. Your other systems are there, but they're not great.
Right.
And so it makes it really difficult for people to, stay at a hotel and try to go drink or go to a restaurant and have
Right.
a few drinks and then,
Right.
that type of thing.
We do get some requests for, Ubers and stuff like that. But most people, they're pretty resourceful. I mean, they figure it out. There's lots of stuff in walking distance from all three properties there.
Yeah.
And another advantage is, as far as hotels have come, we have markets and food delivery service, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, and especially with that extended stay side, they're going to go buy their own groceries
Yeah.
and, they're going to cook in their room.
That side you probably don't run into it
Yeah,
near as
not
much.
near as much. And, everybody had to get here somehow. It's not like the airport shuttle dropped them off.
Right.
So everybody got here. Everybody's, mostly got a car.
I always wondered, going back to the Uber thing, we have a lot of Door Dashers in town. And I was wondering why, if maybe it's a conflict of interest of why they can't like log into both things. And,
Well, that's another insurance side. Like you've seen Uber vehicles and DoorDash vehicles, right?
yeah.
There's a little bit of a difference.
Well, I know.
It's the requirements. It's
I know.
the
I just, but
Uber's
some of
got
them could.
pretty high standards.
Right. But some of them
But
could
if you
do
were
it
an
as well.
Uber
some of them
driver,
could for sure.
if you were an Uber driver with a car that was, inspected and authorized to be an Uber, why wouldn't you DoorDash in between?
Yeah.
No, I've thought of that too. I had a buddy that tried Uber for a while, and the other part is he didn't want to give up his Saturday night to drive people drinking around. So he'd rather be in there with us instead of waiting for us to call him for a ride.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's usually what it boils down to. So as the director of sales, what does your day-to-day look like?
Talking to people, and like I kind of touched on before, I'm not your typical sales guy. I don't like chasing people down. I'm going to go talk to them. I have a product. I have the information on that product. Do you need that product? That's what it comes down to. I'm going to have a conversation with you. What are your needs? What are you after? Can I help you? If I can't, all right, cool. I'll see you at Mimosa Fest. Like that kind of thing. Norfolk's a town of what, 26,000 people.
Yep.
You're going to run into everybody at some point. So.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot of the day to day. There's some online stuff that comes with that. That you're going to get some colleges that'll send you requests for pricing and stuff like that. There's just it's mostly customer service and making sure the people that you told about your product get the product that you told them about.
Right.
Do you reach out a lot to like venues?
Yeah. No,
And like when they book something, hey, reach out to us. We'll try to figure something out.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we obviously I haven't really had a lot of time to do anything with the two new ones, but I think they have something with the what do they call that over there now?
Square,
Times Square
Event Center, I think, or
It's the Black Cow Fat Pig one. I
yeah,
can't remember what it's
we
called.
had
Stables.
the Stables.
Stables.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we had a wedding there.
I think they had a deal before worked out with them, but I've talked to Scott down at Midtown, and we have special rates set up for them, stuff like that, especially for brides coming in.
Yeah.
Because some of those wedding parties, they really do need a place to stay, especially if bride and groom are both from out of town. And they decide to have their wedding here. So yeah, we reach out to a lot of venues like that, and I mean, there's a lot of industry in town too. Industry brings a lot of stuff to this town.
Yep.
It works out well that we have some extended stay stuff because some of these guys are staying 2-3 weeks. The wind energy stuff is really big too. yeah, there's just there's several. I guess. What am I trying to say here? There's several places that you would not expect to have hotel rooms coming from that would, all of a sudden it's like, wow, you'd never even think of that.
Correct.
So your job is to go to like, let's say like a Volcraft, Nucor, NIM, and use them, kind of pitch your hotel rooms to people that are coming in from something like that. That's kind of what your position is.
If you boil it all down, and honestly, I don't like calling it sales because it's really not. I'm giving you the information. I want you to stay with me. Yeah,
kind of marketing.
Sell you the marketing is a great way, and I like going to these events, whether it's a golf tournament that we're sponsoring or, the business after hour stuff, the Mimosa Fest, I'm always branded up, making sure people know.
Does a lot of your work happen outside Norfolk? I mean, obviously there is stuff inside Norfolk, the corporations and stuff, but do you do a lot of sales outside of Norfolk?
There's a little bit here and there, but, once you get outside of, Battle Creek, Tilden, then you're running into, okay, where's the next closest place to stay? Because they don't want to drive that whole way.
Right.
But like the wind energy guys,
So we just talked about, you're more of a marketing person. What kind of tactics have you been using? I know you said you're not a typical sales guy, so just conversations,
conversations. I mean, tell me what you need. It's you ever seen the Wolf of Wall Street? Mm-hmm. That whole
you start banging them.
I don't do that in public.
Okay.
You just take bumps of cocaine and up on the penthouse restaurant, or what? I don't know what we're doing here. we doing Quaaludes? What's going on?
No, I was going to go with the what does he do? The pen exercise. Here, sell me this pen.
Oh yeah.
And I hate that. The way they do it in there because it's like sell me that pen. And he says, write your name down on that paper. I'm not that, but that's what that movie's about, right?
Yeah.
Is doing the wrong sales tactics the wrong way.
I mean, that's what he was. He was
high pressure,
predatory.
The wolf.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm doing it, it's okay. I don't know if you want that pen. What kind of pen do you want?
Yeah.
All kinds of them here. You want that pen?
Or this pen?
No, you want a black pen?
Yeah, I want a black pen.
So is a ballpoint okay?
No.
Okay. Oh, you want a black?
I need
pen?
a real thin ballpoint.
That's the pen you want. Let's work something out. That kind of thing. Like I said, I'm gonna give you straight up what the product is, and if you need it, you need it. If you don't, I'm not gonna try and talk you into something you don't want.
Have you guys utilized social media?
A little bit here and there. We're trying to dive deeper into that because it's tough. You got to have somebody that knows what they're doing. And how much can you talk about hotels on a social media post? And the brands themselves, Marriott, Hilton, they do a pretty good job of advertising, and if it's the targeted ads, I think is what they call them, right? So if you're searching for hotels, all of a sudden it's going to be on your TikTok, on your Instagram. If you went to Hilton.com, you are going to get bombarded with, hey, sign up for these points. So
that's
even if I think about booking a hotel, the damn thing starts putting ads on my head.
That's what I was kind of thinking about too, and I want to hear your thoughts on it if you run into this, because you've got multiple brands, right? Mm-hmm. Is it easier or more difficult for you because so many people are brand loyal, points based, brand loyal?
That brand loyalty is something that I wildly underestimated.
Yeah. I'm telling you because I know our family, the way we are.
Talk to your dad
down
there.
At Mimosa.
That's a lot of points he's got racked up. So.
And once you get that many, you can't afford, and basically you're almost like wrapped into it.
Yeah.
Like you almost can't afford to go somewhere else. Even sometimes you're like, this one, I'd way rather be over here. But
I think I told you this story down there. If our Hamptons full down on the interstate in York, they're not going to the Holiday Inn. They're going to drive to Lincoln, or they're going to drive to the next.
They're
Hampton
moving on,
and I mean it even boils down to they're loyal to Hampton Inns. Mm-hmm. They're going to go to that next Hampton Inn no matter where it's at if that one's full.
I did that when I was traveling. When I think I might have told you this. I don't remember if I told you this, but when I was selling cattle waters and I was traveling different states and stuff, I whatever hotel I decided I was getting points on, it was I just searched these. I went to this deal and said, well, this is close to my path. You got rooms here? No rooms. All right. Well, I can go over here for the same hotel. And
Yeah,
that's what I did.
And a lot of people do that. I mean, that brand loyalty is, I mean, it's something special. Back to your question, is it more of a challenge? Is it more of a blessing? Yes.
I get it.
It's a challenge because you are not.
That's why I asked that question.
You
I
are
knew
not
the answer.
moving anybody. You know, if they're loyal, they're loyal. You're not going to tuck them into. You can offer all the bonus points in the world. You can match their points. No. I mean, if I'm staying Hilton, I'm staying Hilton. If I'm staying Marriott, Marriott's not going to go to Hilton. They're not going to go to IHG.
Yep.
But in that same process, you know, makes it super easy to have that availability to say,
hey, I got another hotel.
Yeah, you come stay with me. I'll give you, you know, I know you got Marriott points, but let's move you from, you know, Fremont or, you know, wherever it may be, and I'll throw you some bonus points your way, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it really does go both ways. I would say it makes it difficult having 3 different ones in the same town.
Because you got to figure out which one I need to push because, you know, I'm pushing all these right here right now.
Right.
I'm selling the shit out of these right here, and I got this one sitting empty. I need to fix that.
Yeah, absolutely. But that being said, that loyalty, they're not looking for other hotels. So they're, you know, if they come to town, you know what hotel they're going to go to. So
correct.
That part makes my job super easy, you know, because you don't have to sell to the people that are loyal already.
Correct.
Do you match points a lot? Is that something that happens a lot? I was going to ask that, then I scratched it out, and then you
They've
said
done
something.
several programs, and I probably need to look into it more. I'm not very well versed in it. They have some programs where, you know, it's switch over, but you have to pay this much, and, you know, I don't know if there's actually a really good, true program.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I'm not well versed in it, so I need to probably dig into that a little more.
You do have a little bit of leniency on your side to where, I mean, you can mess with some stuff though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Gotcha.
you know,
They give you kind of a carte blanche, not really carte blanche, but a little bit like, hey, we trust you.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
don't.
I mean, just
mess it up.
do your job.
Yeah, exactly. I got you.
Going back to the social media, if you guys find something that works, let us know because, you know, we've been trying social
No,
media.
it
doesn't work over here either.
Noted.
And we've been trying lots of different things, and none of it ever sticks.
You know, previous job, I forgot. I killed. I did pest control for a while too. So back when I had
Killed bugs.
Yeah. To circle back to that, that's what made me think of it. You know, I tried it with some of that. You know, those targeted ads and stuff like that, and you know, all of a sudden one would do awesome. You know, it reached 40,000 people, and the next one reached 3 people. I'm like, I did the same thing. Tell me how this works. I mean, there's college classes for that now. You can major in it. It's, all right, well, it's a big deal. I need somebody smarter than me.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, over my head. So, didn't you start or were part of like a duct cleaning thing too?
Yeah, me and my buddy Josh, we were doing dryer vents for a while, and I mean, we still have the stuff. We just, gosh, life kind of got in the way. No, it was busy as hell, and that was the problem. It started getting a little bigger than what we planned on. All of a sudden, we were working our normal jobs during the week, and all of a sudden the weekends we were going out doing dryer vents. And of course, when you hang out with your best friend all day, and well, we'll stop for one afterwards.
That's what it turned into.
Now we got upset wives and kids that are forgetting us, and
sorry, that was
working
kind of a
7 days a week, partying 2 of those 7 days.
That's good. What do you think separates your industry sales from other industries? Do you think there's a separation, or is it kind of all just sales?
I don't know if there's much of a separation, and I'm probably the wrong guy to ask about this because, like I told you, I'm just different.
You've been in all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think car sales is a lot more pushy, because if somebody has a very specific car in mind,
right,
you're trying to talk them into something else because the chances of at a used car dealership are not very good.
And that's your livelihood too.
Yeah,
you got to sell the car.
You got to sell the car.
Yeah.
So I think there's some differences, but if you boil it all down, here's the information on the product I have, and that's just kind of the way I've always been. Whether it was auto parts or cars or selling pest control to somebody, it's like, this is what I have. Is it going to work for you?
Right.
If it doesn't, then all right, see you later.
That's good. That's kind of the approach I try to take too. It's tough though when you're trying to, again, it's your livelihood.
It is, and but the last thing I want to do is be known as that hair grease back hair, right?
The used car salesman.
Yeah, the used car salesman. Or what was it? What was it back in the day? The vacuum salesman.
Yeah, the vacuum.
Kirby.
Yeah.
Kirby vacuums.
I'm not going to badmouth anybody, but yeah, I've had a couple of those guys knock on my door.
I mean, I did Kirby for a week and decided this is not what I want to do. I went on one sales trip, like out of town. I was like, get me the fuck back home now. Like, I am not walking in another person's house. Will not do it. I'm done. I'm in this goddamn van with 5 other one of you weirdos. I'm out. I'm done. I didn't do it. I was like, no, I ain't ever doing it again.
The free gift is what always got me. I was like, hey, we're going to give you this free gift. And she'd give you a box of laundry detergent or something. And then some weirdo would come walking into your house because she was just the icebreaker or whatever they wanted to call it at the time. And then all of a sudden he comes in and starts to clean. And I'm like, no, here, take your laundry detergent and get out. I don't want to do this.
What are some headaches or struggles that you've had so far in doing this position?
I mean, there's headaches in every job, right? The new one opening, that there were some headaches there because there's always problems that you don't see. You can go through that hotel and do every single walk, clean the whole thing, test everything, and it never fails. The first time a guest takes a shower, they're going to find something. I mean, all those first guests had to deal with something.
Oh yeah, they find all of it.
Everyone always said, oh, it's a new building. You probably don't even need a maintenance guy right now. It's like, no, I need about 8 of them, to be honest with you.
Right.
It's little stuff. It was never a big deal, and everybody understood. But it's like, oh, this remote, we didn't get batteries in this one, or this shower head didn't get tightened all the way, so there's a drip behind it, So lots of little stuff like that, and that's, I don't want to call it damage control because nobody was ever upset, but it was like, sorry, here's what we can do, that kind of thing, and then the standards that you have to meet being Hilton, Marriott, IHG, those they're always changing and they are always very high. I mean, there's a reason those are the top 3.
Yeah.
They'll come in and do inspections and they'll let you know if you have the wrong brand of sausage on your breakfast and that kind of stuff, or if this is in the wrong place, that kind of stuff. So I think that's probably one of the bigger ones. And that being said, some of the Go Green initiatives, where they, I think Marriott was a little worse than the rest of them, where they want to know, what are the BTUs on each one of your air conditioners? Now do the math on, how much energy your building's using, stuff like that. And I mean, I get it. I know what they're trying to do, but it's like, this is a big part of our day.
I will. Some of it doesn't bother me as much, but I know some of the older people that have been in hotels for 50 years, traveling. I mean, they're the traveling salesmen. Some of the stuff going on, it pisses them off. Like
I have a perfect.
I won't name names, but I know people that
I have a
get
perfect
super
example.
mad about it.
So
especially the towel thing.
Yeah, that. Throw them on the floor.
That makes a lot of people
hanging
mad.
a wet towel up. If I'm paying for a hotel room, I'm getting a fresh towel the next time I take a shower. Sorry. But another perfect example of that is, they tell you everything you have to have, what their standards are. So these new P-Techs, which would be the air conditioners, they can't stay constantly running. They want to save the energy, that kind of stuff. You know how many people use those just for noise in a hotel?
Right.
I mean, we get people that are, they complain about that they can't stay running. And then about the time you change the settings and stuff and, have it running all night, then you get one person that says, well, that was too loud. I'm not staying here again. So there's always those fights. And you
they don't stay on?
So they will, but you can't keep that fan constantly running.
Oh.
So, it'll kick on and off, but you can't have that fan constantly running.
But it'll stay like that 60 degrees or whatever?
Yeah. So if the temperature starts dropping, then it kicks on. It circulates the air, but you can't just turn the fan on and call it good.
Yeah. So I'll say,
and that's me. I'm that guy. I got to have 3 fans going. Maybe Alexa playing some thunderstorm noises, something like that. I need to drown everything out.
Yeah. See, that doesn't bother me. I've had the misfortune of sharing hotel rooms with my brother, and he likes it Like he'll keep that motherfucking goddamn air conditioner at 60, no matter what year it is, what day.
Yeah,
like
I'm the same way.
And
I
I mean, it will get so goddamn cold in there sometimes. Like, well, you can sit over by the air conditioner.
I love it.
I'm gonna go in this bed way the fuck over here.
I'm a tight ass when it comes to my house. You know, I'm always bumping a couple of degrees. So if I get a chance to, you know, use somebody else's power and keep an ice cold room at night, all the way down.
I'm the same way with that.
I can't sleep if it's hot. I don't know.
Well, I can't either, but it's 60 or below is a little bit for me.
I could sleep in a meat cooler.
Yeah.
Right next to a half a beef. Would not bother me at all.
Agreed. What about staffing? Was staffing an issue? I don't know if that was up in your department or
it's gotten a lot better. You know, so we had those Sioux City hotels through COVID and everything like that, and it was a nightmare. It was horrible. It's slowly coming around though. So you know, and the online stuff has helped a lot. You know, with Indeed and whatnot. If you can filter through all the bot ones and the spam ones, but no, we've and the two new ones we kept everybody on board. So that
That's
helped
good
a
to
lot.
hear.
Yeah, and thankfully, I mean, those are great staff over there,
Yeah.
and some of them been there a long time since it opened. So no, we were lucky there. Starting from scratch at the Marriott, that was rough. You know, but we got that good base built and then kind of filled in around there. And you know, you're always going to have some turnover everywhere. But
does Marriott send anybody down to help train staff for you guys?
Yeah. So right off the bat, we had a gal come down and she was teaching the property management system.
I'm gonna move this just a little bit.
Yep.
There you go.
Teaching us the property management system. We had to set up a breakfast, and you know, she told us this is how you have to do it, and you know, this is what Marriott wants, which again turned to be difficult because this was only the second dual brand Marriott that they had, so we were getting conflicting reports from a lot of them, but no, we figured it out and ran away with it.
That's good. Do you know much about the star rating system?
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me a little bit, or what star rating is the new hotel?
Yeah. Star rating? No, I mean I don't do anything with that.
No.
I thought you were talking about the reporting system, but
Well, whatever. How are you?
How do they rate you?
How do they
like
rate you guys?
1 star, 2 star, 3 star,
I've always
4
wondered
star,
how that
5
worked.
star.
So it's kind of gotten a little bit muddied in because you know you have the AAA ratings and then this star and then you know is it Michelin or is it this, and then Google has, you know, based off reviews, and so does TripAdvisor. So you know, where one review site could have a one star review and it says, oh, this is a 1-star hotel, it sucks, and then the next one has 95 5 stars, it's like, oh, this is the 5-star hotel, this is the best hotel ever. So I don't know enough to confidently talk about the main, you know, 1-star, 2-star, you know, but you know, it's not a 5-star because it's a select service,
Right.
So you're not getting room service and stuff like that. You know, but
Do you know the difference between like what the general 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means? Like, not ratings, but like, or not like customer reviews, but like
not the customer side. I'm talking like reviewed by like the
like how do you classify them as that? What
Marriott probably classifies them. Probably, I would assume.
like I think the Crown and Carney is a 4, maybe.
yeah. So that's, you know, and I think that'll have like room service and you know, a shuttle service, stuff like that. So it's all about what amenities are offered and stuff, I think.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm not educated enough to.
Yeah, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I was just, for my own personal knowledge, I was kind of wondering. I was going to look and see what the embassy is up in Omaha. I think that's like a 3.
Probably.
I'm not going to be able to find it. Because I don't want to know by
The Google ratings.
Yeah, I don't want the Google rating. Because I always try to stay at a 2 or higher when I travel.
Yeah, and that's where it's gotten muddied because, you know, Google says, oh, it's a 5-star
I
hotel.
don't look at the
you know.
Google stuff. So I know it's not a 5. Like, I know by looking at it, it's not a 5. So it's a 3-star. So the one downtown Omaha is a 3-star hotel.
Yeah.
So that was my, sorry, I didn't mean to like put you on the spot for that.
No, you're fine.
Do you know what your guys is
Nope.
at all?
Probably a 2 or a 3.
I would say at least a 2. Because you guys do hot breakfast, yeah?
Yeah.
Actually, you told Dad and I and my mom actually one of your real cool things that you have over there with your card. I think that shit's awesome.
The beer machine.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
You guys are gonna have to come down and
I
check
want to
that
hear
out.
about that because that's pretty cool. I think that's a huge thing. Like what we were even talking about that because we do when we go out to Denver. I think I told you that we always stay at the Staybridge for the National Western out there, and they do a happy hour and the little hors d'oeuvre thing, and that's kind of why we do
a
that.
little bitty kegerator.
Yeah, a little tiny kegerator, and that's kind of why we do that because it's free, for us.
Absolutely. So and that's kind of where this started because with the town place, let me back up. So the Fairfield gets so many advantages to being attached to that town place because we have to have everything that a town place has. But the Fairfield gets to benefit from it.
Yeah.
Whether it be the patio with a fire pit, a Weber grill, a breakfast that changes every day, and a happy hour. So because we had to have that happy hour, we looked into one of these. It's called a Pour My Beer machine, and it's self-serve tap beer. There's six beers and 2 wines on it. You go to the desk and they'll card you and say I need a beer card, and it looks just like your hotel key, but it's a separate thing. And you load your card up with money, whether you want $5, $10, load it up with money. You go slide your card into it, and you pour your own beer. It charges you by the ounce. Happy hour's dirt cheap. So it's really good for those guys that I had 1 beer, but I don't want a whole beer, but I'm not really done. So maybe I'll have a half a beer. You pour a half a beer. There's so many guys that love that they don't have to leave. They don't have to go looking for a bar, even though I recommend all kinds of them. but
sometimes you get done with work and you're at the hotel. You don't want to worry about getting a ride. You don't want to worry about driving. You don't want to worry about walking.
Yeah.
And I'm right here.
That works great for guys in company trucks. They can't go park in a bar.
Drink.
You can't drink, So guys like that love it. And it kind of sounds messed up to talk about it, but funerals, it's huge. Because everyone, either the night before a funeral, the night after a funeral, they want to hang out, and have a couple beers. Awesome place to sit down and, just, you don't have to load $50 onto your card and drink it all up. You can go $5 at a time.
That is awesome.
Pretty cool.
Is that it's almost like you've been to Jim Fine Wine? Jim's Fine Wine? That little wine dispenser he's got?
Yeah, be very similar to that.
That's really cool. I've always liked that there. You can go in and just sample there's 3 different sizes.
At our grand opening, it was a huge hit.
I'm sure it was.
Everybody loved that.
That's awesome.
It was a busy night of changing kegs.
I'm sure it was. What can it fit the full barrels or is
no?
it just
it's the smaller ones.
Gotcha. That's a unique thing though for you guys.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about on the hotels? Is there anything else you want to get out to the people?
Come check it out. I'll show you around anytime. I mean, that goes for you guys too. Come have a beer with me. On the Pour My Beer machine.
Let's do that.
But for people that don't know about the extended stay rooms, you really just got to see them because I can tell you, it's a room with a kitchen. I mean, some of these are like apartments. I mean, I lived in apartments that were way nastier than way smaller. It's a super cool concept that they came up with. And a lot of guys that have been staying there. I mean, we had one guy that was there, I want to say 9 months. It works out so well for these guys. And like I said, with the advantages that the extended stay brand gives to that Fairfield, like the breakfast, I kind of touched on that. It changes every day, so you're not getting the same eggs, the same bacon. I mean, they got frittatas and breakfast sandwiches and all kinds of stuff. It's awesome breakfast. You walk in there and take a whiff, and it's like, whew, gonna have some calories today.
I was gonna say, yeah. That's awesome. Are you guys looking to expand further? Is it kind of an open thing for you guys?
Always open to it, but never, like aggressive about it. I wouldn't say.
When things kind of fall in your lap, like the other two.
Yeah, and I don't even know about falling in your lap. I mean, we're always looking, but never, never super aggressive. It's not.
If you ain't growing, you're dying.
Yeah. Not always doing business, but always open. Wasn't that 7-Eleven's?
Yep. That's good. What about the building like you did with this one, where you're not acquiring like you did with the Hampton and the Holiday Inn, but
We would consider that at some point. We do a lot of things different. You know, you learn a lot. You know, there's a way to avoid some of those headaches and, you know, whatnot. But yeah, definitely not closed off to that idea.
That's cool. That's good to hear. I hope we did you justice on the hotel stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you explain the dual brand stuff, right?
For the most part. I mean, well, kind of. I don't know if we
I don't
did
know if we
really.
actually did get into
So everyone probably thinks we have, you know, 4 different buildings out there. No, the Marriott's actually 2 hotels under one roof.
Okay.
So that's what the dual brand is. We kind of blew right by that. The Fairfield Inn Place shares one lobby, shares one breakfast area, one pool, one fitness center. You know, but being under one roof. Now, we do consider them 2 different hotels. You know, I mean, they got 2 different computer systems, everything like that. But
So is there 2 different? So you have 2 different front desks then, even
nope,
in the same
one-
lobby?
One desk. You just have to have 2 different windows up for your.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's,
And they'll tell you when they come to the front desk,
Yeah,
I'm
what-
for coming to this hotel or
Yep.
gotcha.
Yeah. Checking in, you know, Mr. Neidig. Yep. Okay. Which hotel you staying at? You know, sometimes you got to ask them because.
Yeah.
But it works out well, and it's really nice to have that option attached there because, you know, if I'm talking to somebody that's going to be coming in, and they're going to be there 2 weeks, I'm like, I know you called me on the Fairfield, but look what I got here. I mean, it's, you know, just on the other side of the building. It's split right down the middle. Like, we need to check this out.
Yeah.
99 times out of 100, they're like, absolutely.
So you've made that switch literally in your lobby before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I mean, and it works out well. You know, those extended stays, I mean, they see that kitchen, they're like, oh my gosh, I can, you know, in a full-size fridge, you can fit
The
more.
amount of money you can save from going to the grocery store
Right.
is huge.
Yeah. And obviously, the longer you stay, the cheaper the rate's going to be, too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you get cleaning a little less often, you know, but it's like an apartment. I don't want somebody in my house every day.
Yeah.
You know, I only need to clean this off, you know. But the full-size fridge, I get a lot of guys talk about that because it's like, you can't even fit a pizza box in the mini fridges in a standard hotel room. So now I can get a pizza box, a 12-pack, and groceries, and, you know, everything like that in there. I mean, they love the big fridges, and then you add a stove for your frozen pizzas, and, you know, microwave for your Easy Mac, you know, whatever it may be. I'm just listing off stuff that, you know, I see left in the hotels a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of all the stuff that generally happens.
Yeah, and that's the other big advantage there too, with being able to stay on site is each one of these hotels has what we call it a market. So, you know, a little convenience store there. Most of them have gone to that, but bottled beer, canned beer, snacks, you know, everything from frozen meals. And at the Marriott, they actually make us carry some local stuff, which we wanted to anyways. We talked to Jerry, and he brought us some of the prepackaged tasty treats.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
That's awesome.
People love those.
I bet.
People that have never had them, like, this is the greatest
Because
thing
they've
ever.
never,
Where-
yeah,
where
they
can we
don't know
get
what they
these?
are.
Yeah.
No, yeah, when he moved to those prepackaged tasty cheesies and tasty beefs,
Yeah.
that was a genius move.
Man, I tell you,
Genius.
it hits different having a tasty dog out at Fair Play. Oh man, hitting that turn, getting a tasty dog and another beer. It's wow.
Yeah, it does work. It does work pretty good. The other thing I was going to ask: do you do much reaching out to different restaurants and stuff like that? Like, hey, want to work something out? Do we want to because we could try to push people to you, that
Yeah.
type of thing?
Yeah, we do. Honestly, Andrew's my big go-to. You know, and Meredith probably over at Franklin's. But a lot of people are looking for that kind of vibe that Andrew has going down there.
Yeah.
You know, most people want to, like, I want a burger and a beer, you know, this kind of stuff. And I really like what we've done with our downtown. So I'm going to try and showcase that and, you know, send people down there to check it out.
That's
Send
awesome
them,
to hear.
Send them to a comedy show, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Have you guys have sponsored some
Yeah.
of the events there? Yeah, thought so. That's cool to do too. That you could show you're giving back to the
Yeah, I mean,
community a little bit.
I love being a part of this community. I love being in. I said that, you know, I like being involved in all this stuff. Whether it's the Comedy Fest, Connect, you know, all these golf tournaments, anything we can help out and sponsor with. You know, I love doing this stuff.
Early on, did you guys ever think about moving when you and Nicole, right?
So actually, when I met her, we had a hotel in Omaha that I was living at doing maintenance at. So I technically wasn't really even living here.
Okay.
And me and a a couple friends that were living in Omaha at the time, going to school down there. We came back just for a weekend, and that was the weekend I met Nicole. So it took me moving away to come back and meet my wife that was from my hometown.
From the same place.
Yeah. So it worked out well. There's no complaints there. And but you know, we never really considered moving. When we had the two Sioux City hotels, we talked about it, but we have a really good support system here, and we didn't really feel like leaving. You know, parents. I mean, her parents are here. My parents are here. You know, grandparents are here. You know,
Free babysitters.
yeah. Yeah. Those daycare costs, man, my mom is a huge blessing.
Yeah. Once you start having kids, it's nice to have we say have a village around you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, something as simple as, hey, we're going to go out to dinner. Can you just sit with them for a little while?
Right.
Or the comedy show, like, we're going to be home by 8 because I don't want to stay out any later than that anymore. I'm getting too old for that. So can you just, throw them in the bath and we'll be home?
Right. That's good. So you always pick the early comedy shows.
100%.
Yeah, I do the same
At
thing.
9 p.m., I'm going to be asleep by the time that late show starts.
We stay out a little longer, but I just like having the show done and over with before the rowdy crowd comes in.
Yeah. I can't hang like that anymore.
I can't either, but I still do it.
I've tried a couple of times, and it takes a lot longer to recover than it used to.
Recovery's the bitch.
Yeah.
That's the bitch.
I can stay up all night long. That next day's
Yeah,
brutal.
don't ask me for anything for the next 3 to 5 business days.
That's brutal.
Exactly. Well, as long as you got everything out you wanted to about the hotels, we might move on to the little fun federal questions.
Oh boy. Okay.
If you're cool with that, unless there's something else you want to get out.
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well, with it being an election year, how do you feel about where the state of our country is right now? And do you feel that we are being well represented at the federal and state levels?
I hope there's some change. I don't like talking on stuff I'm not really well versed in. I'm one of those guys that likes to see some wrenches thrown into the plan sometimes. Something that maybe goes against the grain. I think anything is better than what's been going on.
I would agree with you. Do you feel that the two-party system that's in place still works in today's time?
No, I don't know how to fix it, but I don't like it. I don't know that I'd ever, vote for RFK, but that throw a wrench in things, kind of get away from the two-party thing, it has me understanding,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I take a weird stance on some political stuff. I tend to lean a little bit to the right. I'm a gun guy, but I just don't like that it's you're either this or you're this, and if you're not this, you're a piece of shit. And it's like, can we sit down and at least talk about why you're wrong?
Have a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the problem happens when we stop having conversations.
Yeah.
That's when things get
100%.
real bad. And we talked about when we sat down here that we had a nice conversation last week during these same questions with Bree. And we disagreed on a lot of stuff, but we still had the conversation.
Didn't shy away from
I was
it.
sitting there, and I'm on the Connect board with Bree, and so I was watching the episode, and I thought, she's doing a really good job, because I don't know if a lot of guys know this about you two, but you can be a little opinionated sometimes.
Never.
No.
I don't know what podcast you've been listening to, but that's not us at all.
Are you're talking about Zach?
I was making eye contact with the person I was thinking of.
Must be Zach and Kole. Must clearly be Zach and Kole.
I thought you guys did a great job of respecting each other, from being on both sides. It's like, that's how it should be. You should be able to have a conversation and walk out of here wanting to do it again. I mean, I heard you guys say, we want you back.
We'll debate at any time. I don't have a problem debating.
I mean, you're gonna.
I love an argument.
You can't wait to tell her how wrong she is.
Exactly. That's my point.
You forget Vance is always right. So, according to Vance,
I think I heard that somewhere.
Yeah,
might have been on a TikTok. Might have been from Vance.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got it on Facebook and TikTok forever now. Him saying that. No, that's good. I like that a lot. How do you feel about our city government and the direction it's going? I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I know you said you don't get into it a whole lot, but we are coming into an election, and there's quite a bit of difference between, you don't have to say who you're voting for or whatever, but
sure,
between the two candidates for mayor, and obviously the city council is all up for grabs now. Not all of it, but the ones the seats that are up for grabs, have somebody running against the incumbent.
Right.
How do you feel that? How important is this election for the city of Norfolk?
I think it's important, but I don't think that we're necessarily in a bad spot either way. I think both of the mayor candidates, between Shane and Jim, I think no matter what happens, it's going to be. I mean, there's not a bad choice there. That's just me thinking. I love Jim because throw a wrench into everything. Go against the grain. I love Shane. I listened to his podcast twice even because I was trying to understand some of the stuff he was talking about and get educated on it. So I think that we're in a good spot there, and I think Norfolk is moving in a really good direction. The only thing, I just don't want to see that momentum stop.
Yeah.
Because, the point of any city is to grow, right? We can't stop what we're doing if we're going to keep growing.
Are you on the side that some of the spending might need to get looked at a little bit, or because that is part of the growth, so it's always a catch-22 on both sides of that?
Yeah, listen, you gotta spend money to make money. You can go on and on with analogy stuff like that. Some of the stuff I think you could dial back a little bit. I think there's some processes that could be changed in regards to that even. But overall, we can't just stop spending. There's no way to. You gotta keep spending some money. You gotta keep growing.
Did you watch all the meet the candidate stuff?
I didn't get all the way through them. I watched a few of them, especially the ones I find interesting. And then I was going to keep trying to go through more of them.
I didn't mean it in a bad way. I was just I was kind of piggyback off where you said you don't think we're in a bad way either way on anything that we go that Norfolk goes with. And I will say, and Zach and I both agree on this, every single person we talk to is a good person. Like we were pretty adamant in that. Never had a bad experience with any of the candidates we spoke to, and almost all of them came on. So,
and I haven't dealt with Jim a lot. I actually just got on the board for the Great American Comedy Festival that Jim's on, and I mean, sitting and talking to Jim, what I have, I like some of the stuff he says, and I've worked with Shane in other avenues too, and I love everything Shane says too. So I don't think there's a bad route to take there.
They both of them have gotten kind of a, the city's going to be the city.
Yeah.
People are going to bitch no matter who's running or what's doing.
Yeah. Or everybody.
Yeah. Can't make everybody happy. But I think you're right. I think either way, I think Norfolk's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. I mean,
Vance and I think some spending can be cut a little bit, but that's just us.
Like I said, there's definitely some things.
Very small government oriented.
Yeah.
Always have been. So that's
and trust me, there's times where I am too. But in the same breath, I always got to remember what sometimes downtown used to look like, or what Johnson Park used to look like, and even think about where our hotel was. Think about what that used to look like back there. Even the Ramada that was half demolished. We got to keep.
God, I completely forgot that's where that was.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
So fun story about that. In the top level of the Ramada used to be the Nebraska room, is what they called it, and that's where they used to have some of like the Nucor Christmas parties and Hy-Vee Christmas parties. So we named our meeting room in the Marriott the Nebraska room.
That's really cool.
Paying a little.
How did I forget that? There used to be like a decent pool in there too.
it
right?
was kind of an indoor water park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
Holy cow! And then the Migos is right there. It was a nice little one and done.
Yeah,
that was really cool. That's cool. You named it the same thing.
Yeah, it was.
Awesome.
We debated on that for a while. Actually, we were the Elkhorn room or this room or that room, and all of a sudden, I think it was Jeff that brought it up. He was like, "Well, that used to be the Nebraska room up there." And I was like, "Well, there we go."
That's awesome. That's awesome. Where do you see yourself going in the future? I know we kind of already talked about this. Are you enjoying where you are? Do you see yourself staying in Northeast Nebraska?
Yeah. I'll be here. Yep. I don't plan on going anywhere. I love my job. I love Norfolk. Especially if it keeps going the direction it's going. I loved it back. When it wasn't going this direction. So I'm not going to kid anybody here. It's a great place. I like the schools here too. Obviously being a dad, you start figuring some stuff out. Norfolk's doing a good job. There's great things to do. They're really bringing some fun stuff to do, and whether that be the city or the business owners here, there's stuff to do. You just got to do it. Get out there.
Exactly. Vance, you got any more?
Well, I was just gonna give you a chance. You said you're on the Connect board, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything you need to plug on that, or want to plug on that?
There's a golf tournament this Friday. You guys could.
I'm gonna be on that. I'm gonna be there. So
You're there.
Yeah.
All right.
I got
I'll
a
be
team.
driving. I'll be driving
I
around
will
selling.
also be there.
Yeah, I'll be driving around selling mulligans and miracle pets. So
there you go.
They might be a little more expensive for you guys, but it's all going to a great cause. We're actually donating the proceeds to Bright Horizons.
So everything me and him were just talking about that. We didn't know.
Shit, don't quote me on that, but I know Bright Horizons has a betting hole, and So
I thought it was just the betting hole. That's where I was.
It
asking.
might be. I might have misspoke there.
I didn't know. I'm just asking. I saw it on Facebook. I saw something about the betting hole was Bright Horizons. I didn't know everything was going to Bright Horizons.
I don't know that either.
I'll try to look it up real fast.
My phone's gonna start blowing up. Like, you dumbass.
We're not live. It's okay. It won't be out till Thursday morning. People won't listen to it before.
Yeah,
Friday.
they won't. Yeah.
Oh, there
They're
we go.
gonna be in the tournament anyways.
It's okay.
No, I'll be glad to see you there then. I guess I didn't know you were on the Connect board.
Yeah, just
I
recently.
always reach
joined
out to. Yeah, I didn't even know you were on the board. Honestly.
Yeah, no, just recently joined that. Oh, it's been a few months now. So,
I've done this tournament for like 3 years, and Kaylee's the only person I've hey, Kaylee, I'm going to be in this tournament.
oh, really? Yeah. So Kaylee's president now.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
I didn't even know she was president now.
Yeah. We got Mason vice president. There's a lot of really cool people there, and there's some cool events. I mean, that's something that you really should look at. Whether it's the community service events, but they did the pedaling with pals, which was super cool. They went back and forth, Mel's, the Harbor District, and gosh, I'm trying to think of all this other stuff. Put me on the spot here. The events that get put on, super fun and a really good group of people.
Yeah.
Just says the whole. Doesn't say anymore. So I don't
Okay, yeah. Editor over here. Yep. Can we?
know. Okay, well,
It's
we
going to
said
make
it
you
right
look
now.
better to be stupid, so we're good. No, I'm just kidding. Just fucking with you.
Yeah, it just said the whole, which is fine. I mean, there could be more
It
going
could
to
be
it.
more,
It just
yeah.
maybe it just said the whole. So
It probably was.
oh well, all good. People aren't going to hold you to it. It's fine.
You're going to lose
We
your
only have
spot on
we
the
only
board.
have like 20 listeners anyway. So
Yeah. Except
not like nobody's.
except Bree's on the board, and she's gonna be like, "Well, you said it.
You said it. Now it's all going here.
Now write the check."
Now it's mine.
That's really good. I didn't know you were on the Connect board either. That's cool.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I hope we got enough out on your hotel stuff. Obviously, I don't know much about hotels, so it was hard for me to come up with questions. I thought we'd have a good job of kind of
Yeah, no.
coming up with.
I mean, there's not a lot to talk about. Come stay with us.
Go stay with them. Go check them out. All the properties they have. You said you got some in Sioux. They're all over the place.
So nothing in Sioux City anymore.
Oh,
Nope,
okay. You got rid of those.
We did get rid of those.
Okay.
Nope. So I'm just based in Norfolk now. So the Holiday Inn Express, the Hampton Inn, and then the dual brand
there you
Fairfield
go.
Town Place.
Just come hit those then. Perfect.
Yep. Check out the beer machine.
Yeah, we'll have to definitely
I'm excited.
come check that out.
He told me that, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds awesome."
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Try
It's
this
super
out.
cool. And
Because I've never been to a hotel with that ever before. I've never seen that in a
there's
hotel.
a few of them, and they're starting to gain some
I've just
traction.
never been to one of them.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Well, it's probably easier than having somebody serve it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
more cost effective.
And how many people we have a patio with a fire pit out there, a gas fire
Oh, I
pit,
didn't know
and a
that
gas
either.
grill. Yeah. So you find yourself going and cleaning up some empties out there.
Yeah, people go out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure.
you give me a beer by a fire, you're gonna have some empties clean up.
For sure. Well, I really appreciate you coming on.
No, I appreciate you guys having me.
It's been fun. We'll have to do it again sometime if we didn't get enough out, or just you feel like you want to come talk again.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's do
there's one thing I'm good at.
Well, big thanks to my co-host Vance Neidig, producer Cole Peterson. Without them, the show would not be what it is. Huge thanks to Ryan. We really appreciate you making time for us today.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Keep on the look for more great episodes, and we'll see you guys next week.